All right, guys, VV back with another video. Going over doing another Lorcana video. Going to go over the Amethyst cards now. At least these are, like I said, these are the ones that are on the Star City Games website. So I'm just kind of going off what they have for now, just kind of taking a look and reviewing what cards we've seen. I do think there's another list out there that's a little bit better constructed than this. But we're just going to go off this because it's a little easier. I'm going to be honest. As better and better quality spoiler material comes out, then I'll probably, maybe go back over the colors and talk more about them in detail. But for now, we're just going to keep going in this format. So let's get right into it, guys. First up, we have Elsa, Snow Queen. She's a 3-cost 2/3 Dreamborn hero, Queen, Sorcerer with 1 quest counter or 1 lore counter, and she has freeze, exert, and then exert chosen opposing character. Yeah, this is absolutely solid. I know it's my favorite word in the world to use when explaining cards like this, but it's a 7.5 out of 10. I don't think it's broken. I think it's a threat because whatever character your opponent plays, unless it has rush, it's going to be a sitting duck for a card like this, right? So they play a character and you go, okay. So it comes into play, right? Now it's my turn, right? Okay, so now I'm going to exert my Elsa and exert your new character. Now I can challenge it. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I think this card's a solid 7.5 out of 10. Very, very reasonable character here. Only 3 costs, 2/3 buy. Now, of course, this is going to be a primary priority target for your opponent, right? They're going to try and take this out as soon as possible. But with there being a 3 in the back, anything that was a 1 or 2 cost that was played before her might not be able to. So you're going to probably need something decent to take her out early or some type of effect from hand, some type of action. So, excuse me. Olaf, we got I think it's probably going to be a 1-cost 1/3 it looks like. He's a friendly snowman. Don't know what he taps for or exerts for questing and... we don't know enough about this card. I'm just going to go 5 out of 10 with this one, guys. I need to know more about how many lore counters does he have on the side here? How much does he cost, and so on. So I'm giving 5 out of 10. Okay, we got the White Rabbit's Pocket Watch. 3 cost. I'm late. So exert this card and pay 1. Chosen character gains rush this turn. They can challenge the turn they're played. Now, one question I have is I see they can challenge the turn they're played. Is that it, though? Like, can they not quest the turn they're played? That seems weird to me. Like, it seems like rush doesn't work properly if that's the case. But overall, I think this card's fine. For 3 costs, okay, you're putting it down, and for the rest of the game, you're just paying 1 resource and then exerting, and now, boom, each character that comes down is getting rush. I think this card's like a 7 out of 10. I think it's a solid ability. I just don't know what you're trying to rush out, per se, but again, if you can quest right away, then this is like, I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. But here, I'll say this. If you can't quest right away, then I'm actually going to drop down to a 6.5 out of 10. So tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Next, we got the Wardrobe. This is Bella's Confidant. This is a 3-cost 3/4 Dreamborn ally. I don't know what it quests for. Speaking of that, I don't know what can the Pocket Watch quest? Is that a thing? I don't know. The way they have it covered would make me, interested if that's what they're covering up, but I don't know. Anyway, the Wardrobe, 3-cost 3/4, and she can be used as a ink or as a resource. Very solid. I think this is a nice, is it above the curve though? I don't know what you can get for 3 cost. I kind of want to give it I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Excuse me. Okay, next we have Magic Mirror. So unlike the White Rabbit's Pocket Watch, these are both items, but this one has a flourish, so it can be used early or late in the game to just use as a resource. Magic Mirror doesn't have that, so it is only 2 costs, but what does it have? Okay, speak, tap, or exert. Pay 4 resources to draw a card. Nope. That's not very good, in my opinion. Because, number one, if you get this early in the game, this is a dead card. Because, bear with me, think of it like this. If you play this on turn 2, well, you just missed your 2 drop. There's your window for a 2 cost. Okay, it's dead the next turn, right? So you used a card from hand, you got nothing for it, and then on turn 3, like I said, you still got nothing for it. And then on turn 4, okay, now you can use your entire turn to draw 1 card. And then the next turn, you can use basically your entire turn, minus 1 resource, to draw another card. Okay, there's a card we're about to get to down here. I have seen some of these cards. There's a card coming up that's just like in Magic the Gathering. I hate to use that as an example, but I do have to use that because it only costs 3, just like in Magic the Gathering. In Magic, there's a card called Divination. It costs 3 mana or 3 resources, like in this game, and you draw 2 cards right away. Now, yeah, you only get that effect 1 time, but who cares? You got your cards and you moved on, right? This card, in order to get that effect, you'll have to have spent 10 resources, 2 to play it and 4 twice to draw each card. Early in the game, this is a dead card. You don't even want to play this till late in the game. And then, speaking of which, if you did get it in your early hand, it's totally dead because you can't even turn it face down as a resource, right? I'm sorry. I have to say that this card is not great. I'm giving this card a 2.5 out of 10. Late game, sure. Start drawing your heart to your heart's content, right? I agree. In the late game, this card is excellent. But early and mid game, it is an absolutely dead card. So the most I can give is maybe like a 3.3 out of 10, right? Because it's like 1/3 of the game, it's good. The other 2/3 of the game, it's just kind of trash. I'm sorry, guys. It just doesn't do enough. So, moving on. Magic, Mickey Mouse, Wayward Sorcerer, 4 cost, 3/4, Dreamborn Sorcerer, Animate Broom. You pay 1 less to play broom characters. And right under it, you can see there's a broom character, Magic Broom. So this would cost 1 in this deck, or with this card in play. Okay, this has Ceaseless Worker. Whenever one of your broom characters is banished in a challenge, you may return that card to your hand. So it has recursion. Okay, now we do have to sneak peek at what the Magic Broom does. Okay, sweep. When you play this character, you may shuffle a card from any discard pile or discard into its player's deck, and it would be a 1 cost 2/2 with a quest counter or a lore counter, whatever they're calling it. That's incredible. Okay, that is incredible. These two in combination, I think, make it into the 9 range. But individual cards themselves, like this is, they need each other really to function properly. Though I will say the Magic Broom just functions, period. It just does what it does. But then with Mickey Mouse down, you just keep getting value out of it. Now, my question is how much... So we see that Mickey is a 4 cost 3/4. How much can it quest for? Right? How many lore counters does it have? I can't judge it until I know that. Because if it's just 1... I kind of have an issue with that. That's kind of, for 4, now the card depends on the broom. But if it's a 2 or more, then it has a lot of lot of value, okay? But until then, I'm just going to say 5 out of 10 because I don't know. I need to know what it quests for. Okay, next we have Yzma the Alchemist here. This is just a 2 cost 2/2 with You're Excused. A Dreamborn Villain Sorcerer. You're Excused. Whenever this character quests, so it quests for 1, has 1 lore counter, look at the top card of your deck. Okay. Put it on either the top or bottom of your deck. Okay, this card's excellent. It's nothing crazy, though. I would say it's a 6.5 out of 10. Because you're looking at the top card when you're questing, and you want to quest, right? That's how you win the game. So you're questing, you get 1 lore, and then you look at the top card and you say, okay, this card's garbage, and put it at the bottom, or this card's really good, I'll draw it next turn, or next time I draw. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10. This card is absolutely fine for what it is, and it has the Flourish. That's probably going to be a make or break for cards going forward, like in the future. Does it have the ability to become a resource early or late in the game when it matters most? So, okay. Magic Broom. Bucket Brigade, Dreamborn Broom. A little bit of a tongue twister there. 2 cost 2/2 with 1 lore counter. Sweep. When you play this card, you may shuffle a card from any discard into its player's deck. We already read that. This is awesome. This card by itself is like a 6.5 out of 10. It's very strong, exactly the way it is. Again, when you play this character, you may shuffle a card from any discard into its player's deck. Okay, so you're getting recursion, and it shuffles it too, by the way, so you can actually, potentially see the card sooner rather than later. Okay, so let's move on to Pascal. It's like a 6.5 out of 10 for the Broom, by the way. Okay, Pascal, 1/1/1. He is a 1 cost 1/1. Late game, you can use him as a resource if you don't think that's good enough for the 1 lore counter he has. He quests for 1, but he has camouflage. While you have another character in play, this character gains evasive. So like double Pascal, would be really solid. I've seen people running that. I have seen a few games here and there. That's kind of how I saw the card coming up, is through games. The card I mentioned earlier, the draw card effect, but we'll talk about soon. That's my problem. So Pascal seems really good, right? But that is your 1 drop. That is your 1 cost. Yes, he kind of is putting them on a clock. Absolutely. But as we see more and more removal, I think this card becomes lesser and lesser. The way I think the game is going to pan out is you're going to have 1 color that's very solid. It's just built around combos and it's very strong. And then you're going to have another color that's more of a support color that helps you deal with things on the board, right? Or draw you cards or whatever. I think this card's fine, though, for what it is. It really becomes something relevant when you have 2 Pascals or more down, because then you're basically kind of playing solitaire, where it's like, hey, you can't attack my guy unless you get a guy with evasive down, and I'm just going to gain 2 every turn if you have 2 Pascals down. So I think it's a 6.5 out of 10, though. I think it's very solid for what it is. That ability is relevant, and when you have multiples down, they just get stronger. Next, we have 1 cost, 1/1 Maleficent, Biding Her Time, Dreamborn Villain Sorcerer. She's just a vanilla, but she is a 2 lore counter. I think she's going to get her 2 lore off, and then she's going to get knocked out the next turn and get banished. I think this card's fine. I'll give it a 6 out of 10, because they do have to deal with the next turn, or she's trying to generate a lot of value, but I think it's just a 6 out of 10. I don't think this card's anything special. 6 out of 10. Okay, Jafar, 4 cost, 2/5, Challenger +3. Now with Challenger, it says while challenging, this character gains or gets +3 attack. Do they get that when they're being challenged, or is it while challenging? Did they word it like that specifically? Like if he's challenging someone, then this happens, but if someone else is challenging him, it doesn't happen? Yeah, I mean, because then he would just kind of just be a 5/5. Well, anyway, as is, someone answer in the comments below if you know the answer to that. A 4 cost 2/5 and 5/5 when swinging, well, when challenging a character, I should say. That just seems really, really good. And he does quest for 1, worst case scenario. He does have the flourish if you just don't want him. Where, who knows, maybe your opponent doesn't have many characters to challenge. You can use him as a resource. I'm going to go with this is a 7 out of 10. I think this card's completely fine, but I don't think it's anything really crazy either. Because I feel like he's going to get to attack 1 character to take him out, maybe go down to 2 or 3 defense. Like, remember, when you take damage in this game, it builds up. So, if, like, say he goes down to 2 or 3 from taking out a character, or he might even go down to 1 from taking out a really relevant character, well, that would make him into a 2/1 where he'll be easy to deal with the next turn. So, I don't know. I don't think he's too crazy, but he is going to be good at just taking out something big that they play. Because, okay, if you went second, right, where you play this card on turn 4, and now they drop a 5 cost card, that's, or, a 5 drop, so to speak, where you can smash into it, maybe this becomes really strong then. But I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's fine. Okay, next we have Maleficent, 3 cost 2/2, Sorceress, Storyborn, Villain, Sorcerer. Cast my spell. When you play this character, you may draw a card. That is really good. Okay, that they call that a cantrip. That was a mechanic in Magic. But when any card that you play that replaces itself in your hand, like, in other words, any card that you play down and it says draw a card, so it replaces your hand size, I'm going to give it a 7, just period. Almost no matter what it is, unless the card is just horrible or comes with too big of a downside, like where it hurts you as well. But this doesn't. This is a 3 cost 2/2 with a lore counter on it, so you can quest for 1 afterwards. Or it's a 3 cost with the flourish on it, so you can play it face down for a resource later. Awesome card. I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's a 7 out of 10. Okay, Friend on the other side. All right, this is the card I was talking about from earlier. This is a 3 cost with a flourish, so it can be used as a resource later in the game if needed. Friends on the Other Side. This is a action song, so a character with cost 3 or more can exert to sing this song for free. Draw 2 cards. Okay, by the way, Maleficent, you can use her on turn 3 to do her little effect, draw a card. Next turn, tap her down to draw 2 more cards, and you still have all of your, or exert her, sorry guys. Then you'll still have all of your resources to use for whatever you draw. Just awesome. Just absolutely amazing. Incredible. This is a 9 out of 10. And I understand people might be thinking like, yeah, but would you give a divination? In Magic, there's divination where it draws you 2, right, for the same 3 cost. No, I wouldn't. But guess what? Divination cannot be turned face down to draw you for resources either. Like, say you get too many of these in your hand early, well, just use one as a resource. This is incredible. And by the way, divination is also not for free, right? Because like I was saying, if you have one of these guys down, you can sing this card for free to draw a card just by exerting them. I'm sorry. This is a 9 out of 10. Excellent card. I won't spend too much time on it. Tell me if you disagree below, but I don't know how you could disagree. This card is extremely good. Okay, Dr. Facilier, Charleston, it says, or something? Charlatan. It's a 2 cost, 0/4, challenger +2. Okay, so he gets 2 while swinging or while challenging. This is fine. He's a 2/2/4 body, so that's really good. I'm going to give him a 6.5, or I'll give him a 7 out of 10. 1 lore counter. Not going to spend too much time on him. Just a solid 7 out of 10 there. Okay, then we got Archimedes. 1 cost, 2/2. He has the flourish, so late game, he's not dead in your hand. That's very important. You got to think about that when you're playing cards. How good are in the early game, the mid game, the late game? Well, in the late game, this would be a dead card, right, as a 1 cost, 2/2. But early game is huge. But the thing is, you can always just play it up face down as a resource. Okay, very, very, very solid card. 1 cost, 2/2 early game is going to deal with pretty much anything you need to. I like that. Highly educated owl, Dreamborn ally, and he has a lore counter. Outstanding. I'll take it. I'm giving him a 7.5 out of 10. 1 cost, 2/2 with the flourish. He's pretty much always useful. You get what I mean? Like, that's another thing when you're judging a card. How useful is the card at all times? This card, always. Early, it's a 2/2 body. In play, it can quest for 1. And mid to late game, you can use it as a resource. Just very, very nice. Excuse me. Next, we have Rafiki, the Mysterious Sage, who is a 3/3/3. 3 cost, 3 power, 3 toughness, Dreamborn, Mentor, Sorcerer. Rush. This character can challenge the turn they're played. That's weird. I have seen The Lion King, and I don't get that from Rafiki, man. I know he whacks Simba on the head with his staff, but I don't know. Anyway, and he only quests for 1 lore counter. And he cannot be used face down as a resource. I'm sorry, this card, guys, and I love Rafiki. He's a cool character. But this character, this character in the game, Rush is nice, so he will be able to challenge right away, kind of catch people off guard. So I got to give him at least a 5 out of 10. And he's a 3/3/3, so that's at least on curve, it seems like. So I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10, because Rush can never be underestimated in any card game. There's a reason cards have to stay down for a turn. You know what I mean? But cards like this that beat that rule, just really good. So yeah, I'm going to give him, I'm just going to go straight for like I said, 6.5 out of 10. Solid card. All right, guys. Hope you all enjoyed that. If you did, please leave a like and a subscribe. And don't be afraid to comment in the comment section below. All right, guys. Till next time. Peace.